everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mom Fine. It's your host, Alexis, and this episode is just gonna pick up where we left off on the last episode when we were at Allie's host family's house. And I am so excited for this episode to be out because when I was editing it, it just made me laugh, and it was pretty amazing to relive our travels in such detail, and it just reminded me why I made Ma I'm Fine in the first place, or just one of the reasons why I created my show. And it was so that I could relive my memories like I did when I was editing for this episode. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode as much as I did. Before we get into this episode, I wanted to talk about the jewelry that I wore while I was traveling Europe. I bought it from a company called Vanessa Flair, and all of their pieces have become such staples in my everyday style. I have a bracelet of theirs. It's the Brinley bracelet. I have the Lily earrings, and it was perfect to wear with every single outfit because I love gold jewelry. They do have silver jewelry, but my own personal taste is really dainty gold jewelry. Very simple, elegant, just like classy. They are 18K gold plated, anti-scratch and waterproof. They're free of nickel. They do in-house plating so they don't have to outsource, so they take out the middleman, and they're also carbon neutral. So if you're just needing to upgrade your jewelry selection, I would recommend checking out Vanessa Flair, and you can use Ma I'm Fine 30 to get 30% off. You can shop my favorites on my website, which is just momfine.com, or you can just go directly to Vanessa Flair's website. Okay, hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Yo, what is up? We in Sorrento. It has been a day. We bussed, took a train, took another train, took another train, took a bus, and then took another bus, and then took another bus. So we were just bebopping around, carrying our stuff like a bunch of fucking pack mules, but we did it. So if you're trying to get to Sorrento, we basically trained from Rome, went into Sorrento, and then got a bus. And we actually were really lucky with our bus. It wasn't like a huge ass big bus. It was like a 7 to 8 person van. And even though it took like 2 hours because of like traffic and all, like it was so good. Like we met these people today when we were by the beach, and they took like a huge bus and said it was so hot and terrible, but they got here in like an hour and a half. But I would prefer to do what we did. Als, what was the company? Do you remember? For what? The bus.
Enjoy Traveling.
Oh, Enjoy Traveling was the company, but Allie just booked it through the Omnio. Is that how you pronounce the app? Yeah. Omio app, and we just didn't even realize that was the type of transportation we were booking, and it was $35 each, and I recommend it. Like, you could do private transfer, you can bus, you can ferry. We got out of the train station in Naples, and we were like at like a hotel like right near that area. And just like a side note about Naples, I was okay not doing that. Like when we got there, it was hot, kind of dirty. Like obviously I didn't get to see like the whole thing, but I'm not too bummed about like not adding that onto our trip. So just like my own personal opinion, but I also didn't get to explore it. And then Al's also told me that the deeper you go into the city, it's kind of dangerous with gangs. So if you do go, definitely stay like closer to the coast. So yeah, we got to our hostel. We're staying at the Florida Hotel. We are in a 6-person mixed dorm. We haven't met anybody in our hostel room yet. We're like in for the night. It's like 9:17 and we're just like freaking tired. I'm going scuba diving tomorrow. But all in all, the day was super good. We like got here, hung by the pool because our rooms weren't ready yet, and then just bebopped around, walked around Sorrento. We are kind of like on the outskirts, so it is like a bit of a walk to get into the heart of Sorrento. But there's a bus that runs through the main street, and so you could just take that and hop on and hop off that, but it's cost like 1.5 euros. I don't know if I'm gonna take that tomorrow when I dive or if I'm just gonna walk. So then we're like walking around, we're like fucking starving, and we end up finding like this one place to eat, and because everything was just like closed, because when it comes to like eating, the restaurants will close and then reopen at night, and so we were trying to eat at like 4:30 and everything was closed. So we ended up stopping at the Manking Peas. It's Mankeen and then space PIS. And it was good. I ended up literally breaking out in hives, and I thought I had bed bugs like instantly, and I was just like kind of panicking. But they're kind of going away, and so I don't think they were bed bugs, but I just was like, what is happening? Like, I've never been allergic. I've never like had anything happen to me like that. And I just like panicked, and I was like, fucking of course. Like the first day of travel, and I'm like breaking out in hives, and I just got really scared. But so far they're like going away. They're like still there, but not as bad as they were, but still pretty scary. But all in all, it was good. Good food. We got like the eggplant parm, bruschetta, and this like shrimp and calamari dish. But then we're like, all right, beach. Let's go to the beach. You have to fucking pay. Like, how can somebody literally just like, you don't own the ocean. So on all the beaches here, you like pretty much have to pay. There's like one or two that you don't. And there's like a private beach for locals that after 7 you could swim. And that's usually when all of the like the beach places that you have to like go walk to close. And so basically when you're at like in the heart of Sorrento, and then you're walking down to like where you can literally see like the coast, you like walk down like the fucking cliffs, and then there's like these docks with chairs and umbrellas and like the beach, but there's not a lot of like actual sandy beaches. And so to access the water, you literally have to pay. And we were just like, what the fuck? And they close at 7, so we basically each had to pay $10 for a chair for like an hour, and that was just like dumb. I was just like, this is dumb. Just trying to freaking make as much money as you can. Like, you can't own the beach, which I guess you can, or the ocean, because that is what they fucking did. So that was just like annoying. But then what are we gonna do? Like, we were like, what the fuck else are we gonna do? Like, we want to go swimming, so we obviously paid, and that was that. So just know that you have to pay if you want to go to the beach, unless you go to like a couple spots. We're gonna try to find the other spot where you don't have to pay, and that will be super fucking sweet if we do. But that's pretty much it of all I have for our first day in Sorrento. I will check back in later. Yo, another great day.
That was a fast transition.
Well, I'm tired, and it's just important to do it every day, because then I'll forget what I did. It's just good to do it every day, so we're doing it every day, and this is where we're at. But I'm really tired. I've had a long day, and so this is gonna be like a quick little snippet. So today I went fucking scuba diving, and it was amazing. The dive shop that I went to is Punta Campanella. So Punta space Campanella. So for a 2 dive boat, it was $131.27. And so I got 2 dives, and I don't want what I'm going to say to take away from the diving, but it's not like it ranked on like my favorite dives. Like, was it so fun? Yes. Like, was it just so great to get into the water? But in the terms of like coral and that, like, it wasn't as vibrant. But you know, like, that's fucking global warming, and I'm not here to complain about it, because like we're the ones that's fucking that up. So I just love being a part of the sea and a part of your world. And under the sea. And it was good. Just like my kind of like review on the dive shop. They picked me up in Sorrento at 8 a.m. It took me to the dive shop, and I personally kind of like sat around and waited for a while. The only reason that I got was there was a girl doing her advanced diving, so she obviously had to do like some course information and like a longer prep and all of that before we could even leave. But I think overall, like, just compared to like the other dive shops that I've been to, like, we didn't do a briefing before we left. I didn't have like really time to like check my gear. Well, on the boat ride out there, like, I didn't even know what gear I was taking, so I didn't even know what gear to look at. And then as soon as we got there, it was like the surf was really big, and it was like kind of hectic. Like, in terms of my anxiety, I was pretty stressed out, and I was like already getting kind of seasick, and it was just like a very quick, like, here's your gear, put it on, no buddy check. I didn't have like, I was literally like, can I just like check my gear really quick before you just throw me into with the fucking water. Their boat was like really, really small, and we just had like 8 people plus like our like driver for the boat. So it was just like we were all crammed on this boat, and it was just like really hectic. Like compared to like when I went diving in Cabo or in Australia, we just had like a bigger boat that was, it was like a blow up boat, but it was sturdy. Like it was like a solid boat, but it was like soft and like a blow up. And it's like, I don't really think I'm describing it that well, but it was just like smaller, and there was just no room. Like we sat on the side of the boat, and which is like fine and everything. It was just like small, and just like I would have just preferred to have like more room, more time, because we got into the water, and then when we were in the water dealing with this surf, like I got so seasick on top of the water. I was like, I need to descend because I'm gonna vomit right here right now, and that is just like not what I'm trying to do, because our guide was going over the briefing of the dive right on top of the surface, and it was just like, I was just like, okay, I need to drop. Like I'm getting so unwell. And so as soon as we dropped, it was really good, but I just like, my issues that I personally had, like I think I had way too much weight on my weight belt. I just had a really hard time getting my buoyancy and my trim just like settled. I just felt very uncomfortable with my gear the first dive, and it was just like kind of frustrating on my end of things, but it was really cool. Like we swam through, like it was like these 2 huge rocks, and we swam through this huge like a hole in the middle of the rocks, and so that was really cool. And then we just kind of like went around the rocks. I saw like a school of like small barracuda, and then just like a whole bunch of fish. The coral, like I said before, like it was not as vibrant and colorful. It was very like green, brown, white, and the water was really warm. But then when we dropped down to like 25-30 meters, that shit got fucking cold. Holy shit. I was like, I need to go back up to the warmer water because I'm shivering and I'm just not about being cold. And so overall, like that dive was like pretty solid. Getting out because of the surf again, I thought I fucking broke my finger because it was just so crazy. I'm like trying to climb up this fucking ladder with like my weight belt, my gear, like all this shit, and then this fucking huge ass wave comes, slams me like out against like the water, so the ladder like swooshes out and then slams me back into the boat, and I was like, fuck. And so I was just like not in the greatest headspace, but we took a break, had our surface interval, and the second dive was awesome. So where we went diving the second time, there was the aqueducts of Capri, so like their water system. That's kind of like what they told me. And so when we dropped down, and it was only me, my buddy Antonio, and then our guide, because the girl that I was originally with, she got super sick, and so she didn't come on the next dive. And then I don't even know where the other people went, but it was just the 3 of us. When we dropped down, it's these massive steps, like these huge concrete steps that have been taken over by like life and coral and just like all the fish. So that was like really fun to look around. There's all these nudie branches, and which, if you don't know what nudie branches are, they're like underwater sea slugs. And so those are like really like fun to find because they're really little, but they're really colorful. So you just have to like have a keen eye for them. And the highlight of that dive was my dive buddy literally found a fucking octopus, and I love finding octopus under the sea. They're my favorite animals to find, and so that just like made the whole dive trip. Like if I see an octopus or a sea turtle or like a ray, but obviously an octopus, like they're my favorite. And she was just like tucked away on the side of the cliff. And because it was like after we did the steps, we like continued around like literally the fucking cliff of the coast, and it was just amazing. She was just like poking her eyes out, like seeing what the fuck was up, seeing what we were doing. We like put some shells around her to like see if she would grab them, because octopus love to have like a garden of seashells around them. So if you're looking for them, look for like compiled shells and like a hole, because they might be in there. That's like their little home. So overall, like that was like a good dive. Like I was so like when I came back up and during that dive, I was like, oh, that was amazing. Like that was just like, oh, so in love. And then we just like got back to the dock. So with the dive shop that I went to, they're not in Sorrento, but like I said before, they do offer pickup in Sorrento, and we met at the hospital, and gonna be on the main road. It's like Corso something, but they gave me all the information that I needed. Google Maps was my friend, and I did what I needed to do to get there, and it was fucking solid. And then Al's had a great day at the beach club place that we went to yesterday, and so she was vibing, doing her thing. I met her there. We got lunch at the restaurant there, bomb.com. I got like this freaking red sauce gnocchi pasta, so good. I also got this like zucchini pasta, so good. And then after that, we just kind of like walked around Sorrento. Like when you come back up, it's like this whole alleyways and there's shops and it's like all over. So like when you're in Sorrento, like a big thing to do is literally just walk around. Like it's so fun just to like walk around and just like explore that area. So we did that. I got a postcard because I think what I'm going to do is start collecting postcards. I think that's fun. And then we went back to our hostel, just like hung out and chilled. And then when we were walking home back to the hostel last night, we passed this like restaurant. It was like all these pretty twinkly lights walking down, and there was like a menu, and it was called La Lemonia, and we were like, oh my gosh, this food looks so good. It's a lemon orchard. We went and got dinner there. It was amazing. It was so good. Like, oh my god, and very affordable, and it was just so cute. I do recommend fucking putting bug spray on because it is an orchard and there's trees and shit everywhere, and I just got fucking murdered by mosquitoes. So that is just the one thing that I wish I would have done. But we split a bottle of wine. We got like the meatballs as our appetizers. We both got the lemon raviolis, and we got like the lemon dessert, and it came out to be like 79 euros, so like 40 euros each. Like that is amazing. Like it was just so good, and we just had such a good time. Like literally sat there for like 2 hours, and now we're just like back at the hostel chilling because we are doing like an all-day tour to Capri tomorrow, and we for the past 2 nights we're the first ones back in our hostel, the first ones in bed, and I just can't do that European style of staying out like so late. Like girls gotta sleep. So I think that's it for all I have. Oh, okay, never mind, just kidding. My driver, John, told me, because when I was leaving the dive shop, I was just in my bikini because I was like, okay, I'm like still wet, don't really feel like putting my clothes on, like I kind of just want to air dry some more. And he was like, you cannot walk around Sorrento in just your bikini, you will get a ticket. So I don't think he was fucking with me, and I feel like that could be a possibility. And so I was just like, well, that's kind of dumb. Like I thought like Europeans will walk around topless, they're doing what they do. Like who gives a fuck if I'm literally in my bikini? But clearly that is like a problem. So just like know that if you clearly don't know that and you're trying to walk around in your bikini after going to the fucking beach all day, you might get a ticket. So don't do that. But 10 out of 10 day. Can't wait for tomorrow. And that's it. Okay, bye. Hello. Another day, another adventure. Buonasera ragazze, ciao bella. So today we did Capri. Today was a very long day, and I'm tired, but it was a good day. Had some hiccups, but overall it was still a good day. So today we had a boat tour to Capri. They came and picked us up at the marina in Sorrento, and we went with like the Blue Tour company. We booked this tour through TripAdvisor. It was a tour around Capri. We were supposed to do the Blue Grotto, but because of the weather and the ocean conditions, it was closed. So that was like a really big bummer, because basically the whole point of us booking this tour, because it wasn't cheap, it came out to be $278 for the both of us. When we got up this morning, the weather was like kind of like a tropically storm vibe outside. Like it was still hot, but like humid and really cloudy, dark clouds. And at one point it kind of rained on us when we were waiting to like get on our boat, and then on our way out to Capri. So the weather conditions weren't the best, and all the way to Capri, because it took us a while to get over to Capri, we were like, oh, I hope the sun comes out, and eventually it did clear up and the sun did come out. And so we like went around the island, and we had like a couple stops. Like one stop was like through this like hole that was like literally in like the side of Capri, and then near like where the water was you could see all of this orange coral, and I guess Capri is just like all over the place surrounded by this like really pretty orange coral. And I ended up buying a ring in Capri that was made from it. I love it, and I'm just like so happy I got it. It was like 48 euros, but I was like, you know what, I want this, and like it's a souvenir that like I will wear and like appreciate and always look back and see on this trip, because I'm just trying to be very intentional with my gifts. And like also when I'm like thinking about buying gifts for like my family and my boyfriend, like I'm not just wanting to buy gifts for the sake of buying gifts. Like I've kind of just like with traveling like more and more, I'm just like, I'm not trying to buy shot glasses for everybody or just like random knickknacks. Like if I see something from a country that makes me think of you and I'm like, yes, like you're gonna love this makes me think of you, or I just think that I want to buy this for you specifically, that is kind of how that I'm looking at like buying gifts now, because I just like personally don't want to waste my money on shit that's just like not going to be used or just like thrown in the back of a closet or like all that shit, because like I would much rather buy myself shit. So that is kind of how my mindset is about what I'm buying and like when I buy gifts for other people. And so anyways, so saw the cool orange coral, and then we went to this like rock formation, and we were able to like take the boat through the hole in the rock, and that was cool. And then our like guide and our captain, he was like, we can either turn around and like go to Capri, like kind of like back the way that we came, or we can like continue circling the island. It's just gonna get kind of rough. And we're like, well, let's go, like we're already this far, like no, like let's just do it if we can do it. But like there's this one girl, she was getting so sick and she was pulling trig, and she just, poor girl, but we did it. And me and Allie like hung out on like the front of the boat where you could like lay out, and oh man, it was like a freaking ride. The waves were huge. It was like boom boom boom, and oh man, it was crazy, but it was like so much fun. And we had stopped to swim as well, and so we were like already wet, and just like we're like, why not like enjoy it up? Obviously like we're getting sprayed and stuff, but who cares, like it was so fun. And then we stopped in Capri, and we had 3 hours. Well, we drove past the Blue Grotto. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I want to say grotto. And then he was like, it's closed. Like obviously you can tell like you can't go in there. Like the waves were so high and like we would have died. So we just skipped it and we did Capri. And I think the best thing I could recommend for anybody that is going to go to Capri, as soon as you dock, get out of the main harbor walkway area, because we got out and it was just so busy with people. Like it was insane. Like literally just like we got anxiety, and it was just so hot and like crazy, and we just like needed a minute to like compose ourselves and like figure out what we wanted to do. And one of the things that I had researched was the Gardens of Augustus. I don't know what it is in like Italian, but it's like on the other side of the island, but you can walk it. Like we literally crossed Capri and hiked up all of these steps. And while we were getting on our way to Augustus, which we had no idea that we were gonna like walk through this, we walked through this whole other plaza of shops and restaurants, and just like it had an amazing view of Capri. And so I just like so recommend that, like get out of the main bottom of Capri, like when you dock, and just Google Maps the Gardens of Augustus, and it's literally going to take you up a million stairs. So make sure you have good shoes, and make sure you're just fucking ready to hike up that bitch, because it was not I mean, we did it, but it was hard and it was hot. So but it was like still so good. Then we like went through the gardens. The gardens aren't super big, but it was like still cool, and like you just get like another view of another side of Capri, and it was just like really pretty and just like a fun, like super cheap thing to do. Like it was only like a €150, and we didn't walk down it, but we saw the Via Crup. It's like this swirly road. It's a landmark, and from like the top of the gardens you can look down and you can see that. We just were like, well, we only had 3 hours, which it actually only ended up being like 2 hours and 40 minutes, because when we were trying to dock, it was just like a shit show, and everybody was starting to get so sick just sitting there and just like rocking back and forth. And so we kind of like, I think, got like shortened on our time. So instead of like walking down, because we were also like, oh my god, if we walk down that, we're gonna have to walk back up it. it, and that this just wasn't our vibe. And so we ended up getting lunch at this place called Hangout Pub or Hangout Capri. It was kind of off the beaten path a bit, but it was so good, especially because like we just like wanted something different other than like pasta, raviolis, just like all the carbs. I was just like, I really would love like Mediterranean food or some like a Greek salad, and this place literally had a feta salad and it was so good. I added chicken and it was like super affordable. Like it was not that expensive, especially for Capri. And so if you're like wanting to get off the beaten path just a little bit and get like really good food for not super expensive, like I totally recommend that place. It was super good and loved it. And so then after that, we just walked back down to like the main harbor and the main hub, and there's like a whole story about like this guy that like made bells, and I don't remember the story exactly, but bells are like a really big thing there. And so right there you could get bells, and it was really cute. And that was kind of the day at Capri. We just like went back, and then another thing that we wanted to do that was in Sorrento, it was the Bagnu Regina Giovanna, and it's like cliff jumping. It's like a cave, like a cliff jumping cave. We taxied because we shared it with like these people that were on our tour, but you can like bus it up, like the bus that I said prior that like goes throughout Sorrento, it will take you up there as well. And the bus is like so cheap, it's literally like €170, but all the photos of it, it's like the best of the best, and so it looks amazing and beautiful. But by the time that we got there after doing this whole tour, a lot of people there, but like also because of the ocean conditions, like I don't know like how it would be like super early in the morning or especially when the tide is out, but the tide was so high, there was no beach. We were literally scaling rocks, trying to shove our shit like somewhere on the side of the cliff, and then when we got in the water, it was very murky and green. And what is just like so upsetting is there's so many cigarettes, like cigarette butts, and literally today on our tour, our skipper was smoking a cigarette, which is like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I'm not trying to smell a cigarette at fucking 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and after he just flicks it into the ocean. I'm just like, what the fuck is the matter with you? Like, that was just like so off-putting, and was just like so irritating that was just even a thing. I literally wanted to say something because I was just like, that, like, can you not? So that is just like annoying, and that is just one of my pet peeves. But back to the swimming like hole cave or whatever, it's so pretty in photos, but like when we got there, it was like definitely a letdown. It was dirty, compacted, and my scuba guy who like picked me up in Sorrento yesterday, he even told me how like because it's become so popular, like it used to be like a secret spot for the locals, and because it's gotten so big, it's free too. Like a lot of the other beaches, like I said before, you have to pay. It's just like a hell of people go to it, so it's super impacted and just like ruined by people. And so we kind of just like were in there for 2 seconds, and then we were just like really worried about our stuff. Like we had our phones, AirPods, cameras, like I had our passport, like we were just like, okay, like this isn't even really worth it to like hang out in here. And the tide was just coming in, and we were like, we should just go. So when you like walk, there's like kind of like multiple trails that you can take too. So when you go back up the stairs from the swimming cave, you can either obviously go back up to the main street, and it's like a walk up a hill, or you can kind of go like left. If you're walking up from the cave, it would be like a left, and then there's like this whole like cliffside that you can sit, and people were jumping off the rocks, and it was like, that was really cool. Like I really enjoyed that because you got a really pretty view of Sorrento and that side of like the coast, and I just really enjoyed that. Like that just like made it worth it. And then after that, we were just fucking dead, like so exhausted. Like I just couldn't even think anymore. My legs were exhausted, my body's exhausted. Like we hiked so much, walked so much, so we just like came back to our hostel and just like chilled. And we made dinner reservations at this sushi restaurant because we were like, especially Allie, like she's been here for so like in Italy in general so long, so like eating pasta and bread just like all of, like, even though it's so good, like, you can't eat it 24/7. And just, like, something about, like, I don't know how it is throughout all of Europe, but Italy especially, like, breakfast is, like, not a thing. I miss avocado toast and, like, breakfast sandwiches and omelet and eggs benny, and just, like, going out for breakfast. Like, breakfast here is croissants and cookies and coffee, and I don't even drink coffee. And that is just, like, not particularly how I like to start my morning. Like, I love to start my morning with, like, a good healthy breakfast, because that just, like, sets up your day. And so just, like, not having, like, a solid breakfast, and then, like, just on top of that, just, like, eating, like, pasta and gnocchi and just all of that back to back, we just needed something different. But because our hostel hotel is, like, on the outskirts of Sorrento, it's literally like a 25-minute walk whenever we want to go back into Sorrento, or we can bus. But we were just so exhausted that we couldn't fathom doing any more walking than we needed to. And when we got off the bus to when we were coming back from that swimming cave, we passed by the orange tree, and it was Thai food. And oh my gosh, like, if you need a break from the Italian food, this place is so good. It's, like, not in the heart of Sorrento. It's, like, on the main street, like, where the buses, like, go. And it's up towards, like, almost as if you're, like, leaving the city, or just, like, leaving Sorrento in general. And it was so good. Like, we got spring rolls, we got pad thai. Like, it was just really good, and just, like, everything that we needed. And it was just, like, so crazy that we literally just, like, walked past it, and they had their menu in the window, and I was like, that place looks good. And so we ended up not going to the restaurant that we originally had made dinner reservations for, because we were like, we just fucking can't. Like, literally we can't. Like, we're back in bed obviously right now, because we need rest. Today was, like, such a long day. But one other thing that was, like, on our list for Capri that we didn't get to do because it was just, like, pretty far, like, we would have had to get some sort of ride to this place, it was like this chairlift. Oh, the Monte Solero, and you can take the chairlift up, and it's, like, the highest views of the island. And that would have just been, like, really fun to do if we had more time, but we were just, like, we didn't have the time. Like, if we would have just ferried over to Capri from Sorrento, we probably would have done that, because we would have been on our own time frame. But because we didn't, and we did the tour, we had to pick and choose what we wanted to do. But I mean, overall, like, I definitely felt, like, very satisfied with what we did in Capri. Like, I had a lot of fun and loved Capri. Like, it was so cutie pie. Like, at first I was, like, stressed the fuck out when we got there, because I was like, oh my god, okay. But once we kind of, like, regrouped and picked a destination of what we wanted to do, it was, like, completely fine. So overall, like, the day was an adventure, to say the least. And I think that is really all I have to say about today. Ciao. Yo. So we had a great fucking day. Like, yeah, we a little turnt on wine, because our dinner was fucking incredible. But we're not gonna jump to that right now. Hold on, let me just resituate the phone. So I couldn't fit my podcast equipment, so we are recording on voice memos, which is, like, totally fine. So let's just start with the day. We went to Positano, and I just got really emotional on the ferry out there, because it was so beautiful. And
I was wondering why you were super quiet.
I was just vibing in my head. If you have the choice of taking a bus and ferrying, I recommend doing the ferry, because it was just beautiful. And I get like this often when I just see very beautiful landscapes and I just see Mother Nature at work, and it was just breathtaking. Like, I was just like, this is amazing. Like, not even... Me and Allie, we're a bottle deep plus 2 glasses. So
carry the one, drunk.
So carry the 1, divide the 2, add the times 2.
And drunk is the answer.
And equals drunk. So, but it's so good, like, so good. So yeah, so just got really emotional on the way out there. But before we even made it out there, we were scheduled to take the 9:30 ferry. Allie used her Omnio app, but you could also purchase tickets at the dock, like the ferry dock. But also, when we purchased the tickets and after we did it on the app, it said that the tickets weren't valid for boarding, and so we thought that we had to then re-wait in line to then, I don't know what the fuck, like, to get our tickets. so whatever. But then when we got to the front, the lady was like, no, you can just board. So if you do that, just know that in our experience, we didn't actually, like, we could use our tickets to board. And so, but prior to that, we got a walk of a lifetime. We turned a 25-minute walk into a 15-minute walk because we were running super fucking late. And so, as we're running late, we are walking with intention. Abs are tight, core is tight. Core and abs are the same thing. Our butts are tight. Like, just know we are booking it. I got the worst side ache of my life. I tripped and fell and scraped my elbow, but we made it. The sweat was real. Sweating. I was dripped in sweat all over my body. But luckily, even though when we got onto our ferry, it was super fucking packed, and so we were standing in the small crevice that we found, and about 30 minutes through the ride, the guy was like,
trash can.
oh my god, Allie. Luckily, I got like a little crevice with a rail, and Allie got stuck with the trash can.
Hi, I'm trash.
And so, but then eventually, when somebody, like one of the workers was like, do you want to go up in the front? Because I reckon that they closed it off so that nobody would stand in front because, you know, the driver's got to see. And so after a bit, they're like, do you want to sit? And we're like, yes, duh. Do you see us right now? And so we got to go sit in the front, which was so great. The wind cooled me off. No longer sweating. It was amazing. And that was just like when we just got the most amazing views of like the Sorrento Peninsula.
Amalfi Coast.
Okay, but I have a postcard that says the Sorrento Peninsula.
Oh.
So we did the Amalfi Coast, but didn't go to Amalfi. So
We don't talk about Bruno.
we don't talk about Bruno. Because we were like debating if we wanted to do Positano and Amalfi, but because yesterday was such a trek and such a day, we did some research about Amalfi, and we just decided on just doing Positano. So if you're just like feeling like having a super fucking long day and doing Positano, doing Amalfi, then do it. That just wasn't our vibe, and that's okay. So we got the ferry, and like I said, I just got super emotional just like watching the views and seeing this amazing landscape, and I just felt very fortunate and lucky that like I got to do this, and my eyes in my lifetime got to witness this because it was just incredible and amazing, and I just got emotional because I'm an emotional Pisces, but I'm also a spicy Pisces, so that's just who I am. And so as soon as we got to Positano, we are just needing breakfast. Like, we're done with the fucking croissants. We're done. I don't even drink coffee, and all the Italians live off is coffee and croissants and muffins and sweetbread. Like, I just needed some fucking avocado toast.
The beef?
Like, that's just all I needed. Like, I just needed some... Oh, I do love this song. We're sitting outside, and it's just a vibe. So... I love instruments. Okay, anyways, recap. So if you're just like hearing shit in the background, it's because we're outside. We're vibing. People are in a hostel sleeping, and
It's a Saturday night. We could be out clubbing.
yeah, but we're also waking up hella early tomorrow.
I
And
gotta set my alarm.
yeah, do that because I forgot to do it the other night. So we get to Positano. For brekkie, we went to Casa e Bodega.
Casa e Bodega.
So Casa e Bodega. So you walk, so it's just so that you know, Casa, C-A-S-A, space, E, space, B-O-T-T-E-G-A. Casa e Bodega. Bottega? Bodega.
Bottega.
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 Okay. Glad we cleared that up. So, oh my god, fucking amazing. You walk through Positano, you walk through like the main like plaza town, you pass the church, you just walk up. So you're walking up the hills. You better be ready to walk up the fucking hills, and you better, if you're going in the summertime, better be ready to fucking take the heat and the crowds because it was busy as fuck. So we get there. What do you think we got there? Around 10:30, 11? Like 11?
11.
We got there at 11 because our ferry dropped us off at 10:30, and we were seated right away because it was just me and Al's, and oh, so good. I got this carrot juice, I got avocado toast, but it was like more than just avocado toast. It was avocado, it was, what are those little red things? Radishes, lettuce, tomatoes, poached eggs. Allie got, what'd you
I had
get?
poached eggs with a spicy tomato and onion It was kind of like in a little pot, and then they brought it to you, like, basically the eggs were poached in this all little soup. I wouldn't call it a soup. I don't know what it was.
It's like a thicker tomato sauce.
Like a paste, not even a paste, I don't know. But then they gave me bread to dip it, and then a girl from California loves her iced coffee.
Which iced coffee is not even a thing, because when she tried to order an iced coffee, it was almost about to be like a slushy type vibe.
They do basically like frappuccinos here, where it's just coffee creamed into a bunch of ice. And I was not feeling that, so I really just wanted an iced latte, and I genuinely did not think that they would be able to make it, but they were there, and they did it, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, so bomb.com, like fucking bomb. Like it was just exactly what we needed for our breakfast, because since we were so late for our ferry, we didn't eat. We shared this smushed bar that I found in my fanny pack and shared that as we were shared a couple bites per each. And and so as soon as we got off the ferry, we went straight to that restaurant. The only thing that I might recommend that you do is, if it's like super, super busy, is get your chair in your beach chair first and then head to breakfast. But by the time that we like walked down, we stopped, we shopped, we did our sightseeing, and we just like from breakfast walked back down. And I got my postcard because like I've just been collecting postcards. I got the idea from Allie. I love it. I really do, because not every place I'm finding things that I want to like really buy, and I'm just not like I've mentioned before, I'm just like not in the business of just buying shit to buy shit, and I've just really loved buying postcards. Like I love, like it's so fun. Like I'm not even writing on the back of them or anything, but I want to make scrapbooks and do all that shit when I have the time in my fucking eventually in my life. And so I just know that I'll just appreciate these and actually like love them, and like they'll make me think of the place that I've been. Oh, I also just got like a little wine topper too. But before I end with the breakfast place, very affordable, not super expensive. Like very surprised with just like how affordable Positano was. And because obviously we're on a budget, we're not fucking spending beyond our means. And so we did breakfast, did our shopping, and then we went and just rented chairs. And so it was $30 each, so it came out to be $60, but we got our chairs and we got an umbrella. And Allie, when she rented just a chair and an umbrella in Sorrento, it was $40 fucking dollars. So technically Positano was cheaper than Sorrento was when it came to renting a chair and an umbrella. And we just hang, like we got some drinks, we went swimming, we brought my GoPro, we just like hung out and just like enjoyed like our day there. It was busy, like in terms of getting that Positano picture. Like I think I got really lucky. I have one photo where it's not completely crammed with people, but it was just like packed. But like that's what you get. Like so many people want to enjoy this space. Like it's peak season, so it's like, what do you expect? But overall, like I really loved Positano. Like if you were deciding between Amalfi and Positano, do Positano. Like obviously I didn't go to Amalfi, so I can't say what's it like there, but just how I feel about Positano, like I loved it, and it was just so much, like it was so cute and so fun, and I just literally got so emotional seeing it for the first time, and like the buildings and just the view, it was just great. And then after that we got the Sorrento jet ferry back. It was $30 each for the way there and the way back, so like not that bad at all. Obviously the bus is cheaper, but I just think in terms of like the travel and the views and just like the whole like transportation, do the ferry. Like I don't really know what the bus is like, but it's probably hot, windy, and long. So I would just do the ferry. And then after, we literally just hung out and chilled, and we found this fucking amazing restaurant, hence why we're pretty wine drunk right now. And it was called, literally just search restaurants, like that was kind of La Marinella. So let me spell it out. LA, La, space, MARINELLA. And it was amazing, like super close to our hostel, 9-minute walk. And as we're walking, an amazing view of the sunset, like amazing, so beautiful. And then you walk down into the cliff, like down and around you go. You can either take the lift or you walk down. We walked down, but obviously took the cliff back up because we're like, fuck that shit, we're not walking back up. And it was incredible. It is expensive. It is one of the high-end restaurants. It's a fancy restaurant, so obviously if you go, dress up, look nice. And it was incredible. Like, how much was our bill?
$139.
So our bill was $139.
Not terrible.
No, not terrible. We got a bottle of wine. We got an appetizer, but which wasn't technically an appetizer. It was part of the first course or the second course. And it was like the chicken wrapped in, do you think it was bacon or prosciutto? Yeah, so it was chicken wrapped with prosciutto with this like lemon potatoes and like some sort of greens on the side. And then we both got the linguine lobster, which was fucking phenomenal. And then we got tiramisu, and then also we got another glass of wine. So on top of our bottle, we got another glass, and it was amazing. Like right down the water, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. It was private. And when we were there, for the most part, it was not busy. Our reservation was at 8 a.m. And honestly, like it was so good. If you want to splurge and like, it's like your last night in Sorrento and you just want to like be like, it's our last night here. Like, let's fucking go balls to the walls and just have like a really good time. Like, I recommend that place because it was so good. And now here we are. We're back at our hostel/hotel, having another glass of wine, and yeah, don't want to say where we're going tomorrow because I want it to be a surprise, but yeah, that was it. Like, just to kind of do like a little recap of Sorrento, like it was so good. Like, we were busy, but it really is like the perfect spot to go do Capri, to go do Positano, to go do Amalfi if you want to do Amalfi, and I really have no complaints. Als?
Amazing. I've only been to quite a few cities in Italy, and I just really think this is like the perfect little hub, and especially just getting to be by the water, getting to see not only Sorrento, Capri, Positano, we even got to step into Naples for a second. It's great. It's a great little hub, and if you like limoncello, you like good vibes, you like the ocean, then definitely 10 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend. But yeah, I think that is literally all I have for our trip in Sorrento. And tomorrow we're moving on to a new country. And that is it. Ciao, Bella. Hello, my lovelies. Alrighty, so we are in Bern, Switzerland. Did not podcast last night. Kind of forgot. Kind of had other things to do. And I just was so tired and I had to do some sewing. So definitely think in your bag, a sewing kit would be really beneficial. You never know when things are going to snag, when you're going to need to just sew some things. I'm not a good sewer. I literally just like needle and thread and figure it out myself, and that's all you need. Yes, so we are in Bern. I'm outside, so sorry for like the outside noise, but there are people in my hostel or my hostel room, and I just don't want to bug them while I podcast. So from Sorrento, we took the ferry to Naples, and then from Naples, we did an 8.5-hour train to Bern, and we are doing the Euro train pass. So when we did that, we had to go from Naples to Milan, and then we changed in Milan, and then Milan to Bern. We literally almost missed our stop because we were messing around trying to find where we wanted to eat, and the last time we checked, we were like still 40 minutes out, and then all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, I think like we're supposed to be getting off, and we just like got up in such a panic, grabbing our shit and like hopped off the train. I literally left our food bag and I had to jump back on the train, got back off. So just from my mistake, just like pay attention to when you're supposed to be getting off, because we almost missed our stop and that would have been so bad. And we ended up like getting here around like 6:30. So by the time that we got here, by the time that we checked in, and we're staying at the Youth Bern hostel, and honestly, like, totally recommend it. Like on Hostel World, it kind of looked a little dodgy, but there was like still really great reviews, but just like the pictures, I was like, I don't know about this. Those pictures definitely don't do it justice. Like, it is really cute, really good location, right by the Erie River that flows through Bern, and I have no complaints so far. Literally, breakfast is included. So this morning we got free breakfast. We are in a 4-person dorm. The bathroom that we're staying in is not included, but we do have a sink. We have good size lockers that are locked through our room key, so we when Sorrento, there was no lock included, and so you just obviously bring your own lock. Definitely add that to your bag. And like I said before, like I'm gonna do like a whole like what's in my bag type episode after this, and I can already tell like I didn't need to bring like, I could do less like one shorts, but I'm not even gonna get into that right now because that's just not what we're talking about right now. So back to the hostel. So overall, like it was good. Like it was £3 to get a towel, which, oh my gosh, fucking disgusting ass bitch literally used my towel. Like this morning I was like trying to like clean my shirt that I wanted to wear, and so I was like wiping down my shirt, cleaning it, yada yada yada, and then I kind of just like threw my towel on my bed because like I was in a rush and the breakfast ended in like 10 minutes. Allie and I both left our sunglasses in the room, and that bitch literally was in there when I left, and I said, okay, bye, like bye, whatever. She literally just come back from a run. We go back up into the room to go get our sunglasses after eating, and my towel's gone, completely gone. I'm like, I know I left my towel on my bed. Like somebody literally jacked my towel. And then when we got back today, it was literally fucking hanging and wet. I was like, that is disgusting. Like I would never, like who does that? Like who does that? Like I wouldn't even think to like lock up my towel that somebody would jack it. Like that is so gross. Like so gross. But that was today. We're still on yesterday. So kind of like the only other thing about yesterday is our restaurant that we went for dinner. We went to Restaurant Terrace, Terrasse, literally on the other side of the river of our hostel, and it was so cute. Definitely like more on the expensive side, but like loved it. Like it was the ambiance like right by the river. It was just so cute. Service wasn't the best. Like definitely waited for like a while from our appetizers to our like main, but we got, what did we get? We got a little olives and cheese plate, and then we kind of got veggie burgers, and then the fries were fucking phenomenal. Oh my god, the fries were so good. Oh, here's Alex coming to chat. I'm talking about the fries. Yeah, the fries were so good. Is it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna like come in there. It's like really hot in our hostel room. I guess that's like another thing to add, is that not very good ventilation. So we're trying to decide if we want to leave it open, because the terrace that we're sitting on connects to 3 other dorm rooms, and so it's like I don't think anybody's gonna like come in there. We're more or less worried about bugs, but I'd rather be, I don't even know, we'll figure it out. But so that was yesterday, and so then this morning oh my god, do you see that spider? Oh my god, you creepy crawlers. And so today was jam-packed. Oh my gosh. So we did the rose garden, which was lovely. It was the Rosengarten. The Rosengarten. But before that, we saw the bears, because Switzerland, or Bern specifically, has bears, and it was cool. But I also got really sad because I was like, these bears should be in the wild. I don't know if they're not, like, if they can survive or not live in the wild. Oh my god, that spider is literally just making its way down. Oh my god, just stay in your lane, sir. And so that was like the only thing about the bears. Like for my own amusement as a tourist, they could be released into the wild. But okay, so we did the bears, and then we did the Rosengarten, and then because at the Rosengarten you just get like a really pretty view of the river. Then from the Rosengarten we went to the botanical gardens, and oh my gosh, that was amazing. Like I've done multiple botanical gardens like in Australia specifically, and this just takes the cake. Like there's multiple greenhouses, like it was amazing. It was free, and public transportation, like Switzerland is, in general, is just like very environmental friendly, and so they want you to use public transportation. So through our hostel we got free public transportation, and you want to download the Bern welcome app, and even if like I think it's like you get it no matter what, but in our hostel it was just like, oh, when you stay like here in Bern, like you get access to free public transportation. So we just hopped on the public transportation from the Rosengarten and went to the botanical gardens, romped around there for a while, and that was just like lovely. Like we just like were hanging, taking pictures of flowers, just like loving it. And then after the botanical gardens, we kind of went to like the city center, and which it's all like really close. Like we walked from the botanical gardens to the city center, and we just like walked around. Like one of the things that we saw was literally this like statue of this guy eating babies, and we googled it, and nobody really knows like why it's there. There are some theories, but it's kind of really disturbing. But I mean, it's part of Bern, so I guess it was really cool to see. And there's like clock tower, the parliament building. Honestly, Bern is just like so cute, and it's just very green and lush, and the river was amazing, and oh my god, it was just like so cute. Like I love Switzerland. Like I wish I had more time here, but just another reason to come back. And so then we did the Einstein house, because Albert Einstein lived in Bern, I think, for like 7 years, and that was just amazing. Like I just felt so honored to be standing in a place that like freaking greatness was created, and like he was just like literally so much. Like we went through like a little video that like explained like his whole life, and he literally married his cousin. His second wife was his cousin, which was like okay, but I mean, he was still a freaking genius. Like he's literally a fucking genius. Like the quantum physics, fucking everything that he just like thought, and his just brilliance was just mind-boggling. I just felt so honored to be in a place that he once stood. So that was really cool. 100% recommend that. It was like 3 franc. And then after that, we went and got lunch, and like I obviously would have wanted to do more of like a Swiss restaurant, but we just like were walking around. I was fucking starving, and we ended up eating at this like pop-up burrito place. It was a Mexican place, but Switzerland is also hella expensive, and so this is that was probably one of the cheapest options that we could do. It wasn't bad, but it was kind of like your fast food. I don't even know, but I wouldn't knock it. But I mean, if you're wanting to obviously stick with just Swiss food, then I wouldn't go there. But it was in the middle of the town square, and we just looked at it and we're like, okay, yeah, like let's just do here, because we really wanted to go to this Thai restaurant that had like these red flowers on the ceiling, but they're closed. So like one thing about Bern, it also could just be because it's August and a lot of people are on vacation in Europe, but a lot of things are closed like Mondays, and some things are closed on Tuesday. So like there was like this music museum that was closed. There was like a couple other things, like that Thai place was closed. Like there was this place that you could make your own perfume. That place was also closed. So we definitely had a full day, but a lot of what we did and wanted to do was closed. So every time we kind of walked to a place, we're like, fuck, it's closed. And it didn't always say that on like Google or just like when we looked it up. So that was just like kind of a bummer. Like I would have loved to do like the music museum and obviously like make my own perfume, but you know, c'est la vie, such is life. Like what are you gonna do? And so then after that, I think we went to Bellevue Palace. It's Bellevue, and it's this really nice hotel that has a nice bar that is like looking over the river and just like the mountains and like the other side of Bern. And totally recommend going there. Like we got drinks and it was like $21 and it was so good. Like what is it? It's abstinence. Well, it's like super high proof alcohol, and it's a whole wives' tale that you can hallucinate from it. And so that's not true. But I had one drink, and was I feeling tingly? Yes. I was like, ooh. I was like literally sitting in the chair fucking swaying like a nut. I was like, what is happening? I've had one drink. That's it. And so that was just super fun. Like that was good. Because after the Albert Einstein house, like I mean, in general, like I was just exhausted and just getting so tired. Like we walked so much. Like, holy shit. Like walking, like this is such a walkable city. And so we freaking walked it for sure. And so after doing the Albert Einstein and like sitting and watching his life, I just was just like, oh man, I just needed to pick me up. And that was just like a really good spot to just like get a drink, hang, like look at a good view. And so I totally recommend it. And then after that, we came back and got ready to float the river. And it wasn't like a super long float, but people in Bern like literally just hop in the river and float around the city. And it's so fun. Like I wish we had floaties. Like I wish we could like do it up right and like do it for like an hour. But
that's just not the case for us. And so what we did is we were chatting with our like reception at the hostel, and she just told us, because we were like, what do? Do we buy a dry bag or like what? Like, I don't want to really spend money on a dry bag. I also don't want to carry another fucking bag around with me. And so we walked like straight up the river, like from our hostel, like going up it, and there was like this aquatic center with like a pool, and like they kind of blocked off a part of like the river where you could sit. But we just like walked up there, and honestly we just brought our shoes, swimsuit cover up, and our key to our hostel, and like that was it. And over by that aquatic swim area, like hella people were like laying out in the sun and just like doing what they do. And so we just like felt fine leaving our stuff. Like we didn't bring our phones or anything. I brought my GoPro because I was bringing it into the water with me. And then there's this path that you can just walk up as much as you want, and then there's stairs every so often for you to get into the river and float. And we saw hella people floating. It was so fun. Like, oh my god, the water felt so good, especially like on my knee, on our legs, like after walking like these past couple days. Like it was just like so fun. And how like amazing that we get to like, we walked around this river all day and then we ended it jumping in. And 10 out of 10 recommend. Like if you're gonna be here, especially when it's warm and you can do that and you can jump in, I would so do it. Like even if like our float was probably like 15 minutes, not even. And then we like walked over to like the aquatic center and just like sat in like the area of the river that was like blocked off so that we wouldn't keep floating down. But there were so many people like just literally sitting in the river, just floating away like nothing else, just their bodies, and it carries you. It moves fast. You're zooming. And so it was great. Like, I love Bern. Like, this makes me want to explore Switzerland even more. Bern's the capital, but I just feel as if there's just so much more that, like, there's so much, and it's just the taste. It's just a taste. Like, I think I would come back to Switzerland and spend like a week and a half, 2 weeks hiking, like really immersing myself here, because it's just so, like, the people here, the culture, like it's so environmentally friendly. Everybody's biking, like freaking water's free. You don't have to pay for the bathroom. Like literally in Italy, you had to pay €1. Like at the train station in Rome, we literally had to, or not in Rome, in Naples, we literally had to pay €1 to go to the bathroom. And like that is just ridiculous. It's just a fucking vibe here. So I just love it. And so then after we did the river, we came back, chilled, showered, did what we do, and then down over on the river, like right by our hostel, there is like this really cute little bar restaurant, and it's called Parkemwasser, PARK space AM space WASSER. So that place was great. We got drinks. There's like these little day beds that we sat on. I read my book, did a little bit of work. We got like a flatbread and a charcuterie board. The flatbread was like 17. The big size charcuterie board was like 28. Because at first we were like, okay, like what do we want to do for dinner? And I was like, Mom, I feel like this is our dinner. And so after we had the flatbread, we ordered the charcuterie board, and that was like, it was perfect. It was right near our hostel, and it was right on the river, and it was just a pop in place, like such a cool hangout. Like I was just thinking, like how awesome would this be a place to like live? Like you have this gorgeous blue river right in your backyard. Everybody's hanging, like people were juggling, people were like doing those tight ropes and shit. Like it was just a vibe. Everybody was just hanging, and it was a good time. And so tomorrow we leave, and because we got here so late yesterday, I feel as if for Bern, I would have wanted to have 2 full days. One, I would have loved to have been able to do the museums, and another day would have been nice to like lay out and enjoy the river more. But I really don't think you would need more than that unless you were gonna go hiking. Like there was more hikes that you could do that we just didn't do, and there's more other things on the outer rim that you could also explore as well. So I think that is all I have. So good night, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.